I'm late. Is the new patch disappointing or good? Tell me what to feel, oh content creator. We've got the official announcement with a couple of videos, and we're going to watch them both, but let's read this thing first. Well, actually, no, let's watch the trailer first. I haven't watched this. Let's have a gander.
Ahoy there! Hope you're ready for a bit of plundering fun. All hands on deck. Time to see what ye sea dogs are made of. There be treasure awaiting. Oh, ho, ho.
I mean, is that a transmog that we can get? That's fucking legit. Is this the transmog set we can get? That's pretty good.
The plunder and adventure.
A transmog set in a... Oh, Evie sent it to me, yeah. A transmog set in a limited time event. Cool. Okay, my first reactions... I feel like setting it in Arathi Highlands does not do it any favors, because it automatically makes you think of another thing which is its own standalone game mode, Warfronts. And I'm sure it's nothing like Warfronts, but it's giving very, very fucking strong Warfronts vibes just because of the setting of it. And because it's its own like standalone like gameplay thing, right? Okay, so this is giving like very strong BFA vibes, but like the wrong type of BFA vibes, right? Because like I feel like the BFA vibes you want is islands, right? But the BFA vibes you got is Warfronts. But okay, look, whatever. I still don't know nothing about it. Let's find out more. Get ready for Plunderstorm. This will be better than reading the article.
Hey everyone, welcome to Wowcast. We have a very exciting topic today, and with me I have two special guests.
Hi, I'm Orlando Salvatore. I'm a lead software engineer on WoW.
Hi, Bethany. Happy to be here. I'm Jeremy Fiesel.
Okay. What bet did Jeremy Fiesel lose? This is all I want to know. This is all I want to know. What bet did Jeremy Fiesel lose? What was it, Fiesel? Oh, St. Patrick's Day. Let's hear. I don't need to speculate. We can just learn.
I'm associate game director on WoW.
So, what is that black flag on the roadmap for 2024?
So when we were thinking about what we wanted to deliver to the players in 2024, what we ended up landing on was that we wanted to do something a little bit different than the things that we did previously in Dragonflight. So that's what we're here to talk about today. It's a brand new event, and we're calling it Plunderstorm. It is a pirate-themed, battle royale-inspired event that takes place entirely within World of Warcraft and is available for all active WoW subscribers. All that said, what do we feel like is like the 3 sentences that encapsulates the coolest parts about it?
You'll be able to start collecting abilities through chests and by killing monsters, even killing other players, all while trying to avoid a collapsing storm that is pushing players together. Whoever is the last team standing ends up winning. And you don't need to go through a quest line, you don't need to go through any previous content to be able to access this. This is immediately accessible for anybody who's an active WoW player.
You might even say that the first minute or two are really a little bit more on the PvE side of things, where you're out fighting monsters, you're collecting a new set of abilities, and there isn't a huge amount of PvP combat until later on in the match. And I think it's important that that's like the core of the game, is that plundering, getting out and collecting chests and collecting items. You don't have to be the last person standing on the map in order to get a whole bunch of rewards. Even just by dropping into the map and completing your starter quest, it gives you a bunch of rewards just for doing the usual things you would do for the first couple of minutes. And so no matter what, you should exit that map with a bunch of plunder, even if you're not the last person standing. So as we were thinking about what the best framework for this would be, it just came to us that, hey, it should actually be an event that feels like it's a little bit outside of the main system. So we talked and we riffed about, hey, what would be the best theme for an event like that? We landed on pirates.
Who doesn't love pirates?
Because who doesn't love pirates? It's a
I love
fun theme,
pirates.
but also there's all these different pirate crews around Azeroth, and you've got to ask yourself the question, if you're not the hero of Azeroth, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis?
That's a great question.
So we're gonna actually track some of our civilian NPC friends and play as those characters as one of the pirate crews within Azeroth that isn't the hero of Azeroth. All of that came together to give us this theme of Kegleg's crew and the pirate crew, plundering these relics that are being transported across the Highlands.
When players enter this new event, they're going to notice that a lot of their core things that they're used to in World of Warcraft are different. When they get into the main menu, they'll have a brand new option available to them, which is the Plunderstorm button. They click on that, that takes them to a separate menu, which shows their character and their friends list, and they'll be able to invite players to their party all through the main menu. Normally you need to go into the game to invite another player into your party, but through Plunderstorm, you're actually inviting them through the main menu. Once you're partied up, or if you want to go in solo, you queue up and load into a match. When you load into a match,
The whole
you'll
new
notice that
UI
you're
thing is
invited
very
into
interesting.
A pre-game lobby area where you're able to try out new abilities and try different mechanics that exist within Plunderstorm.
And all of the weapons and everything that you've collected over the years and your battle pets and your 36 different abilities doesn't necessarily translate directly into this game mode. We wanted to start fresh. And do
Okay.
crazy
So
new
it's like,
abilities.
character
So,
agnostic.
as
It's
Jeremy
like account
mentioned, there's going to
agnostic.
be brand new abilities that
But your
normally you wouldn't
character's in
see
there,
on
right? You don't have to make a new
classes or
character for
characters
it.
in there, because
It's just- you
when
just don't
you're
have any
thinking
of
about
your
developing
stuff.
a warrior ability, you want it to feel very warrior-esque, or you're developing a mage ability, you want it to feel mage-esque. Well, this, you don't have a class. You're actually going to be building a brand new kit every single time you're going into a match. And your builds may vary match to match because it all depends on what drops for you in the match. Even things like auto attack doesn't work like how it works normally in WoW. It's going to be an active ability that you're constantly using to attack enemies. One thing that's just baked into your experience is that you're going to have a health pot that's always persistent. And we've slimmed down the UI. Be used to the 12 buttons on your main action bar, and then you have a bunch of other action bars you can enable. Well, this actually only has 7 total buttons that you can press on an action bar. When you loot an item, it doesn't go to your bag. You don't have a separate frame that you're opening. Everything gets put directly onto your action bars, and then from there, that's also your spells. So you'll be able to cast spells, drop abilities, pick up abilities, all to one singular action bar without needing to manage anything else. So we've really streamlined and simplified the experience.
That whole thing, I think, ends up feeling just wildly different than the way World of Warcraft plays right now. Not only is it action-oriented combat, but you're grabbing your abilities from the ground and then putting them on your bar. You can swap
Okay, yeah,
the
I'm not
4
gonna
different
play this.
abilities as you
I
find
think there's
new
gonna be a
and
lot
cool
of people
things,
who
or
think
that you
this,
find
to be
certain
honest.
synergies that work really well together. And then there's different
I mean, I'm
rarities
gonna be
to the
honest,
abilities too.
this is
So you
not
can
my
get
kind of
everything
thing.
from uncommon, rare, all the
I'm
way up
looking
to
forward
epic
to it, and I'm
levels
going to
of
play
these
it, and
abilities. You get
I don't know, I'm
high-level
going to definitely see if I
abilities
like
as
it, and I
you progress in
wouldn't.
the match.
It's one of those
But you
things
may
where I
also
wouldn't be
just get
surprised if I
really early in the
really
match, get
like it,
super lucked
and
out,
I
and
wouldn't
you
be
get
surprised if
epic
I
fire whirl right at the
was
very
like, nah,
beginning,
that's
and then you
fine.
can go and
Well,
whack some
I don't need
people.
to play this.
And that's one of the things I think that makes it super replayable. Not only do you get a kit of abilities that are always going to feel different in every match, but also how the power curve changes is also going to feel pretty different every match too.
Yeah, we've experimented around with a lot of different spells and abilities, things that normally we couldn't do in World of Warcraft, and that's intentional as well. We want to make sure that when we're coming up with these brand new abilities, that they feel fresh, they feel awesome to press. It's not just about the min-max, but sometimes it's about the impact, oh man, I'm using an ability and this is just the most awesome ability I've ever seen. That's the type of stuff we want to inspire players to kind of jump into the next match and find even more cool stuff.
And you can strategize. One of the reasons why I like playing duos is because it almost feels like you get twice as many abilities, and you can strategize. You're going to be the fire pirate, and I'm going to be the Arcanosphere pirate.
So do solo players
So there's
and duo
a
players play
creator
together?
event happening
So
tomorrow,
the way
isn't
it
there?
works is
There's
we
a
have
blue
all
post for a
duos
creator event happening
in
on
a
Thursday.
match, and
It's
all
like
solos
obviously
in
connected
a
to
match.
this.
Duos, you can also, preform a party with a friend.
They
and
want
be
so
able
bad to bring new
get into the
players by
match
doing
with
new
them as well.
things. I don't
I
think this,
that
honestly,
it would
well,
end
we'll
up
talk
being a
about this,
little
but I don't think
unfair
this is
to
about
have
bringing
solo
in new
players on the
players,
battlefield
honestly.
with duo players, because
Yeah.
duo players are coordinating, they're coordinating their spells and abilities. We made it really easy to use the ping system in-game so that it's really easy for you to communicate even if you're not talking with your partner. So they would already have an advantage, and we wouldn't want to disadvantage our solo player like that. I think that duos also has the revive mechanic too, which is super cool, especially if you're a player that dies first, like I tend to.
Me too. too. We
Your
shouldn't be
partner
on the
can
same
come
team
and
then.
revive you. Absolutely
that
not.
wouldn't be
I'll
good.
be on Orlando's team.
So if your partner dies, you are able to revive them, but you're not reviving them the normal way you would revive a player in WoW. So you don't need to press any extra buttons or collect any spells or items that do this. This is actually just something that is kind of baked into the experience, that if you die, you'll have a ring around you, your partner can stand on you, and then you'll get revived and able to play the game again. Normally in World of Warcraft, when your character dies, you're looking at your character's corpse and seeing a release button on there. Well, with Plunderstorm, we knew that you wouldn't be able to release. So what are you going to be doing, looking at your corpse the whole time? Well, the engineers, got together and they
How do
decided,
people compare
hey,
this to
let's add
warfronts? I don't see it.
spectating mode
Well, it
to
happens in the
this.
same
So
arena as
once you
warfronts.
die, you can actually spectate your teammate
Like,
until you're
I think
either
the most
revived
obvious
or,
comparison is to
unfortunately, you're
warfronts.
eliminated. And then
Warfronts,
once
just
your
like
team is
this, were a
eliminated, you can spectate
standalone
anybody
like
on the
gameplay
entire
mode.
map.
And it's
So we
happening
wanted to
in
really
literally the
make sure
same
that
map
we're
as
kind of
warfronts. So
introducing new
the comparison
things
is a very
in
obvious
WoW that
one.
normally
Like,
wouldn't
even if they
exist
are
in,
very different, it's a
Dragonflight
very
or
obvious
in
comparison to
Classic
make.
or
No, they
another
weren't.
variation of WoW, and make this
Yeah, they were.
pretty unique to Plunderstorm. There's other things that we kind of broke the rules on too, which was there's no fall damage.
I mean,
Everyone
they
can
weren't
double jump.
standalone.
Everyone can double
No,
jump.
they were.
Those are things that we thought were fun.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
You queued
These
for
are
them.
things
They
that
were in the
you
game
can't
engine,
do in
but
World of
like,
Warcraft.
yeah.
And that's intentional because that's built around a very different experience. But here we said, well, we love WoW's combat, but we want to change up how you.
No, I don't think it. I don't think it is a bad comparison. I don't even think it is a wrong comparison because essentially what you're doing when you phase into a plunder, whatever it's called, when you phase into one of these, you're doing very much what you did in Warfronts. You're not really playing WoW, you're playing something else. And Warfronts was more connected to WoW and to your character, and it used your rotation and things like that. But the overall feeling of I'm doing something that isn't really playing mainline WoW right now. I'm in WoW, but I'm not actually playing WoW. I'm playing like this side thing. That's what it felt like with Warfronts, and that's what it's going to feel like with this as well. So and the fact that it's in the same space as well, I honestly don't think it's a bad comparison. I honestly don't think it's a wrong comparison for how it's going to make players feel. They are not just going to the same place that they went for Warfronts, but it's for the same kind of separate from the real reasons they play WoW sort of thing, right? Like you started playing WoW for various reasons. Warfronts might have been fun or they might not have been fun to you, but they weren't the reasons you started to play WoW, and they're not the reasons you log into WoW. Likewise this, you will play this because you play WoW, but this isn't the reason you started playing WoW. So that separate kind of feeling is very similar that you get from Warfronts, really. And the fact that it is in the same map as well, I think it's a very obvious comparison and looks to be a fairly accurate one. Warfronts were entirely PvE, no PvP element. Yes, I know. But I mean, like I just said,
interact with WoW's combat. And we wanted to not only make it different for fighting other players,
and
but also
AJ
fighting
man, like I
monsters.
say, I understand all of the differences between Warfronts and these, which is why I didn't say they play similarly or they are similar events or whatever. I'm just saying that for what they are. And for the kind of like psychological space that they fill in a player's mind, I think is probably the best way of putting it. I feel like Warfronts filled a similar psychological space in players' mind that this will. A separate thing, which is not why you log into WoW. It's just another thing to do because you want to collect the things, but it's not why you love WoW. I mean, I'm sure lots of people will love this. Let's see.
All the monsters have a different type of abilities that they're going to be able to attack you with. These are going to be actually telegraphed abilities.
But this is much more accessible. Yes. I know. Here's the thing, right? I'm not saying it's exactly the same. I don't know how else I can explain this, dude. No, you're right. Obviously, they're not the same. But I think they inhabit the same psychological space in a player's mind, and so I think it's the comparison is a good one, honestly.
Cast in front of the monster and be able to sidestep it.
Okay.
So there's actual mechanics tied to all of the monsters that are in the match as well.
Like everything has become kind of more action-oriented combat, and that's one of the things we can accomplish when it's all encapsulated within an event.
The comparisons are just bad, Tally. Psychological space is not a valid argument for this. Jar Jar Brinks, what a fantastic name for an utter fucking cretin.
On top of that, I think
Fuck off, dude. Like, okay, fine, you might disagree, but I am right, and you'll see. Like, the fact that so many people are automatically comparing it to Warfronts shows that obviously it makes people think of Warfronts. Like, this is objective. Obviously, people connect this to Warfronts in their mind. I'm already right, because loads of people are saying, oh, this reminds me of Warfronts. Like, you can point out how different it is as much as you like, but obviously it does inhabit the same psychological space. WoW content creators are trying hard to make this patch look good. Dude, I'm saying it's not really for me. Like, Red Wilton, like, you need to back the fuck up, dude. I'm saying, like, this looks great. I don't think it's really for me, to be honest. I don't, like, I'm gonna probably, I hope I have a lot of fun. But this is not really my kind of thing, just like Warfronts weren't. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Of course I'm going to give it a go, man.
I think a really cool part of this mode is that there's multiple layers of how you play it. So there's not only the spell acquisition, which we talked about, but also you're leveling through this experience as well. You're getting more health, and you want to get that so that you hopefully by the end of the match have enough level under your belt and enough items under your belt that you can.
No, we have not covered the rewards, and this is the
what rewards can I get from
important bit for me.
Because I'm a huge collector, and there's got to be something cool. It's plunder after all.
Oh yeah, no, we've got a ton of rewards, a ton of intentionally pirate-themed rewards coming your way.
And like, the reason I'm more interested in the rewards, right, is because, you know, at the moment, that's why I know I'll be playing it. I don't know if I'm going to find the gameplay mode fun or not. It looks really fun. Like, I'm sure it's going to be great. But that's not tangible until I've had a chance to give it a go. Whereas rewards, I know where I fucking am with rewards, right? I know straight away if I like a reward or not. No, they would never have it, so you have to win. And you know what? So this reminds me of Ashran as well, in that you're going to get a whole ton of people. There will be various ways of earning this currency, I bet. I know they're about to tell me, I know. But there's going to be various ways of earning currency that you need for the things or whatever. So you're going to get a whole bunch of people in there who are just running around, not even engaging in the Battle Royale mechanics, and just doing the things that they need to do to, like, you know, get whatever it is they need to get the loot they need or whatever, and then they'll just fucking go, you know? Like, my prediction would be that only like half the people would kind of, you know, engage with the actual PvP. But we'll see. You can min-max your rep grind without trying to finish top 10. Yeah, exactly. And likewise, there's always people in Ashran who are just going off doing their complete own thing. And there's definitely, this is going to happen in this as well. Let's have a look.
Plunderstorm. There's 40 renown levels that you can get with Keg Legs Crew, which seems like a lot, but you're going to zip through them pretty quickly. We want this to feel super, super rewarding. At least a renown level a day for even your casual gamer. Every renown level that you level up has a reward associated with
nice.
it. Everything that you unlock
such
in this
a good fucking transmog. And it's not just the Kultiran set. It's not just the Kultiran set. Oh my god, there's transmog rewards. Holy fuck. I'm guessing the Mr. GM video has got a lot more of this
that you level up has
kind of information. Look at that. Yeah, that's not just the Kultiran set at all. It's got elements of the Kultiran set, but it's got its own thing going on. I mean, to be honest, I prefer it to the Kultiran set.
With it, everything that you unlock in this mode is also going to
and it's red. It's red. It's red. It's gonna go with my Inquisitor transmog for my priest. Guys, you don't understand. Guys, you don't understand. These trousers with the red bottom half of the jacket on it, that is gonna literally just go perfectly with my my Inquisitor set for my priest. Oh, thank God. No one can say they aren't putting content out there, that's for sure. Leather only, yeah. Patch saved, yeah.
Transmog set for all of your main World of Warcraft characters. And then there's a couple of classic rewards in there as well. If you're a World of Warcraft classic player, you can get a pet and a mount from this.
Oh, cool,
Is there anything
cool,
you're
cool.
doing to make Plunderstorm fair for all players?
One of the things we started discussing early on was whether or not we would support add-ons or try to put the majority of the information players were looking for in the game world and in the mode.
Yeah, you know, World of Warcraft players are some of the smartest players
I've already
in the
seen
world,
so
and we're-
much on Twitter and IRL friends that do not touch retail WoW in years, but are reinstalling because of this. How interesting. How interesting. That's great. I if it does bring people back to the game, like, all the better, right?
Super excited for our players to check this out. One thing that we knew, though, is that we wanted a level playing field for all players to be able to play with. Third-party add-ons are awesome, and they're super cool to see, and what the community comes up with is amazing. But for this, we really wanted everybody to have the same exact experience, which also made it challenging to make the event as well, because we need to make everything super obvious. When you're casting spells or you're attacking enemies, those
So
things...
people not coming back to
you know,
WoW. Yeah, but
we
like,
won't have any
Blizz just want them in the
assistance from any
launcher,
other
right?
add-ons, so
And
we
that's the thing, right? People who play Classic aren't playing retail WoW, but they're still good for the game. You know, Classic is a net gain for retail WoW, and like, I don't play Classic. I don't really care about Classic, but I love it. I'm a huge fan of it. I think it's great. I always want it to be good. I'm not one of those people that ever kind of wishes Classic ill or whatever just because I don't play it and because I see some kind of weird rivalry. I don't see that at all. Like, I always want Classic to be as good as it can possibly be, and I want it to be everything that its players want it to be as well. I want that Classic player base like super happy. Because I think them playing WoW, even if it's not retail WoW, is just a net good for the game. And likewise, people that are installing the game to play this, because you can't just install Plunder Isle, right? You have to install WoW to play this game. That's a net good for the game. There's nothing bad about that at all. Like, there's nothing bad about anyone installing just to play this game. Not at all. There's like nothing bad is going to happen to retail because of that. It can only be good. So that's fantastic.
Need to make the game really streamlined and approachable in that way.
We've really spent extra time iterating on the UI and the UX, the visual effects in game to make sure everything is as clear as possible.
Is Plunderstorm a recurring event?
You know, we're really looking forward to seeing what players think of this event. It's a
Oh,
brand
you're
new
gonna
thing
find
for us.
out.
It's super unique and cool and different. And depending on player feedback, we will see what the future of Plunderstorm looks like. We would love to bring it back in some form. If you like Plunderstorm, you know, please get on the forums, please get on social media. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you would like to see in a future iteration of it. I think importantly, now that we've got all this great backbone tech set up for creating these sort of in-game events, we can definitely...
Blizzard has shown very clearly that WoW Classic and Retail are different teams. As long as Classic dev does not impact negatively Retail or vice versa, much Classic, please. Yeah, exactly. Limited time and 200 match renown grind. What the actual F? But that's a completely arbitrary number until you know like how you do the grind, like how much you get for like one match or whatever. Like, you can sit there and go, 200 renown to grind, and you could do it in 5 minutes, or you could be there like, 5 renown to grind, and that could take you like, you know, like a year. It's like completely arbitrary. We don't know how long it's gonna take. 5 matches for a level? Wait, you're guaranteed a level if you do 5 matches? They said it's 4 to 5 games per level. Like, on average, dude, and that's if you come in like last place every time. Dude, no one in this chat is gonna come last. You're all fucking ballers. What are you talking about? Like, you fucking ballers won't be getting the bare minimum. You fucking ballers will be min-maxing that shit. You ballers will have it done in an afternoon. And if you don't, you're fucking casual who needs to fucking uninstall. Come on, baller gang. Don't fucking moan to me about how long it's going to take you because you're trash at this game. Why do you think they're making this temporary? Well, I don't think they are. They're guaranteed to bring it back. They've put so much work in it. It will become like a regular, it'll become a regular event for sure.
Feedback is super important for us. It's actually something that we take very seriously, not only externally, but also internally. And we want to make sure this is a fun experience. So just like Jeremy said, get on the forums, get on social media. Let us know what you think.
I am so excited to play Plunderstorm, and I'm sure all of you are as well. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Bethany. It was great to be here, and we will see you in the Plunderstorm.
Okay, that was a great video. I really liked it. Time for me to give some honest reactions to this, I think. And this is just reactions now. This is not considered opinions. This is just reactions. So let me give my honest reactions. It looks really, really fun. It looks really, really interesting. And massive respect to Blizz for doing this. Like, I'm not going to criticize the desire to experiment and to do new things and to like mix things up. And I love, probably the thing I like most about this entire event so far is how excited the team are about it. Like, they are clearly really, really into this idea. It has clearly got them incredibly excited and invested, and like put a little spring in their step as they come into work and stuff in the morning. And I love that for them. Like, genuinely, I think I'm just really pleased to see them being creative and enjoying that creativity and being allowed to be creative. I think that's fantastic. I personally wish it was something else. This is completely subjective. Personally, I wish it wasn't this. Personally. Now, that's not a judgment on the event, right? Yeah, I wanted ninjas. I was convinced it was going to be fucking ninjas, man. I always see ninjas with skull and crossbones on their hoods, right? I thought it was going to be ninjas. Where's my fucking ninjas at? Well, clearly, like, no one asked for this. Yeah, but that's fine. Like, that's absolutely fine. No one asked for Mage Tower either. I also think maybe, now I don't know because I haven't played it, right? But I suspect it's probably a little bit inaccurate to kind of focus on the PvP-ness of this. You know? I don't think it's going to feel very PvP. Particularly for the first half of the game, which is where a lot of the people that don't care about PvP will be gone by then, right? Like, I don't think that's a big deal, honestly. I'm not bothered by the PvP aspect of it. I'm gonna play it, and I would not be surprised if I love it and play it all the time. I would not be surprised if I was done with it very, very quickly. You know? So for me, like, I'm really into this. I think it's really, really cool, and I'm really happy with it, but more for kind of everything apart from what it actually is. Like, I love everything about this apart from the actual thing itself. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because I haven't even tried the thing itself, and I definitely will. And there's every chance that I'll absolutely love it. My initial reaction is, why did they do it in Arathi? Because you see that it's happening in Arathi, and I think that automatically gives you preconceived notions about it because of warfronts, you know? Like, for me, the second I see that map, and the second you tell me that it's something that isn't really WoW, it's something else, you know, like just like Warfronts was, and I know it's very different from Warfronts, but you know, same headspace, same mental energy, right? It's just like, I think it gives people a preconceived notion which they don't necessarily attach to something good. Like seeing that map and seeing something that isn't standard WoW happening in that map, it sets off a little Pavlov's dog bell for most of us, and I don't think it sets off like a good Pavlov's dog bell. It's not fucking dinner time, right? It's chore time for most of us when that bell goes off. Do you understand what I mean? This is my prediction. Within a week, 2 at the maximum, it will be considered rude to PvP before like the 5 minute, before like the game is halfway through. The community will develop a thing, an expectation, where it is literally considered rude to PvP at the beginning of this. Because the meta will like develop where the first half you spend running around getting your chests, killing your NPCs, getting your powers, but more importantly, getting like the renown from those sources as well. And it will be considered, like, people will do it. Of course they will. Of course they will. Like, people will PvP, but it will be considered rude. I doubt it. People will kill your ass in Fortnite before you even get a gun. Yeah, but this isn't Fortnite. And like I say, there will be people running around killing people in PvP, but it will be considered rude. Because loads of people are going to do this who don't want to do any PvP at all. And they're going to, while the map is open, and before it's all been reined in and you have to PvP to actually finish the game, they're going to run around, and I guess it depends on the player. Yeah, I guess it does. But I'm saying... I'm saying that I think that, you know, It will be generally in the, you know how like not everyone has to agree with something for it to become like an unspoken, like a rule in the community. And it doesn't even need to be the majority opinion. I'm telling you, it will be considered rude. I'm just saying, it's just we'll see, I guess. Those are unfortunately people going to be the people who get farmed. Yeah, but Jar Jar Binks, they won't care. That's the point. Like, they aren't going into that game to get their renown from PvPing. There's going to be a whole ton of people that go into that game to get as much renown as they can from the chests, from the NPCs and stuff, before the PvP even starts. And as soon as the PvP starts, they're going to be like, I don't give a fuck, just kill me, and I'll start another game, and I'll do the first half of the game, which I actually enjoy again. He expects nice ethics from players that camp and attack starter zones in WoW. No, you are amazing me with your inability to understand what I'm saying. Like, there's like a whole class of people I've noticed that exist in the world, but I only discovered about them when the internet happened, that literally can't understand a concept of someone doing something they wouldn't do. Like, I didn't think people like this existed in the world before the internet was a thing, but now I understand that there is literally people in this world, loads of people, who cannot even understand the concept that other people behave differently from them. Like, and it's fucking wild to me. And you can literally say something like, there will be people who just want to play by running and getting the chests, and then they'll die and they won't give a shit. And the person is like, but I do give a shit. Yeah, I know, but there are people who won't. Yeah, but I think you're wrong, Tally, because I do. But it's a PvP mode. I think it's a PvP mode, but it's not a pure PvP mode. It's more like, so are Ashran and Warsong Gulch as equally pure PvP based as each other? No. Obviously not. Like, Warsong Gulch is a straight up PvP thing. It's got things that you capture or whatever, but, you know, whereas Ashran has other things that you can do alongside the PvP, okay? So it's not a pure PvP thing. In fact, if your side is getting absolutely demolished in Ashran, you can guarantee it's because half your fucking team are going off fishing or, like, completing objectives that they don't need to complete to win the game. They're just doing their achievements that they need to do. This is what this is going to be like, you know? There are going to be other ways to get the currency and the plunder that you need apart from killing people. Yeah, if you just like absolutely ball at it and killed everyone in every game and won every single game, you get more plunder than someone who didn't do that, for sure. But I've got a feeling the most guaranteed way to get plunder is going to be to get in there, do your chests, do your NPCs, do whatever kind of like mini kind of achievements and shit are in there. And then if you can win some PvP as well, awesome, you'll get more plunder, but the guaranteed way of doing it is to get in there and get the chests. So, and that's good, that's great, because it means that it's not just a PvP event, it means that people that don't like PvP and hate PvP also have stuff to do as well. Queuing for duos as a solo is going to cause a lot of friction, yes. Aren't the chests just literally the PvP weapons? If you think there's not going to be ways of earning plunder other than killing people, then I will take that bet right now. If you want to bet about that, if you want to bet that killing people is the only way to get plunder, then I'll happily take that bet with you right now. Okay, so you can't queue into twos, you have to queue as a two. Cool. I kind of assumed that's how it's going to work, so that's good. The only roadblock would be if they don't let you collect your earned plunder until the game ends. No, they've already said that you get plunder for seeing the game end, but you can leave the game once you're dead with all the plunder you've got. I wouldn't be surprised if you keep all the plunder. I wouldn't be surprised if you could just leave the game and keep all the plunder you've collected. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you could spend 5 minutes going and collecting chests, leave the game, take what you've got. You would miss out on plunder by not finishing the game, but I don't think it would really punish you otherwise. Did they say how long a typical match lasts? I feel like with this kind of thing, it really is like how long is a piece of string, though, because I've been with Battle Royale games, I've been in games that have lasted, like, it depends when you die as well, right? They say 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, we'll see. When the storm circle thing closes. Yeah, when the storm, what, a deserter debuff? Why would there be a deserter debuff? Like, they're not going to punish you for leaving the game after you get killed. No way. They're not going to make you sit there watching. If you, like, jump down and you get killed instantly, which is possible, they're not going to make you sit there for 15 minutes watching a game. Otherwise, you get a deserter debuff. They're not going to make you do that. No Battle Royale does that, and they're certainly going to fucking do it in this pretend Battle Royale. I think there's going to be a whole bunch of people that play this as a PvE game. Like, genuinely. And will enjoy it. They'll run in, and that's what I mean when I say I think it's going to be considered rude to PvP in the first 5 minutes or so. This is not shade on 10.2.6, but I think you've got a valid case for not calling this a retail update. I'm not going to do that, but if someone said to me, it's not really a patch for WoW, is it? Because it's a separate thing outside of WoW. I would say that's a very fair argument. Do you understand the argument? I understand the argument. I'm not saying I'm going to go around saying it. It's basically a new game that gives you rewards in WoW. Yeah, like Hearthstone does right now. Is Hearthstone a new update for WoW if it gives you rewards that you get in retail? I feel that's not fair. There's a Holy Priest update and you get retail rewards. Wait, is the Holy Priest update part of 10.2.6? That's fair. I'm not sure if, like, class updates count as patch features, though. Like, you want them, and they're always good, but they're not patch features. They're something that should just be happening all the time anyway. It's adding a mode kind of like Warfronts. It's not, though, is it? Because Warfronts existed in the game. This doesn't. This is a separate thing, like with a different login screen. Or not a different login screen, but a different entrance screen. Like, Warfronts was integrated into the game. It existed in the game world. This doesn't. It's by all accounts, like, it's essentially a different game. And you could say Pet Battles is a different game, but Pet Battles exists in the game universe. It exists in the game and in the game world. This doesn't. But it's in the client and engine with WoW mechanics. It doesn't have WoW mechanics, though. One of the whole points is that it doesn't. It's got a toolkit, but that toolkit is completely separate from the mechanics of World of Warcraft. It uses WoW assets and the WoW engine for sure. But it's not. It doesn't exist in WoW. It's a completely different thing. And I'm not saying, and to be very, very, very clear, that I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that if someone wanted to make a case that this isn't actually a content update for WoW, I would be sympathetic to that argument. I don't think I'd make that argument myself, but I can understand it and I would be sympathetic to it. That's all I'm saying. They'd be wrong. Well, like I say, I wouldn't make the argument myself. I'm just saying I'd be sympathetic to it. Yeah, I can understand it. I'm allowed, like, as a human being who understands the concept of nuance, I am capable of feeling two different things at the same time. And I can basically, like, disagree with someone whilst also understanding their point and kind of being sympathetic to it. Yeah, for sure. And even thinking it's a pretty good point. Could making Thunderstorm mechanics be a step towards player housing? Difficult to see how, honestly. Difficult to see how. I don't get why I can't use my character, but not my character name. So they do address that at the beginning of the interview on the WoW cast, where they're like, the whole point of this is you are not your character. It's like, what do the people who aren't the heroes of Azeroth do most of the time? They're doing this shit. What are, like, just normal people in Azeroth who are just pirates going about their daily business? What do they do? Apparently they just kill each other, like, relentlessly over and over again. I was reading Wowhead article about empower spells no longer evoker. Would that mean that the new spells you learn from the Plunderstorm have empower mechanics? Possibly. Maybe, I guess. A Helldiver take based on WoW would be fun. Yeah, I think people would be more into that than a Battle Royale thing, to be honest. Like a squad-based kind of... But I guess, you know, they've done that before. Do you think we'll see any lore out of this? That's a great question. I really, really hope so. I suspect not. If I had to bet, I'd say no. But I'm always hoping for lore. like some books around the place or something. If there isn't a book hanging around the place that goes into a bit more detail about night school or something like that, then it's a term I hate using when it comes to WoW, but wasted opportunity. Wasted opportunity. I'm late to the party. Is this update worth it? I think that's going to be a very different answer depending on you, honestly. I think it's going to be one of those purely subjective things. You might think it looks cool. You might think it looks rubbish.